What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Bianconero Zone for a deadline day transfer update. It's finally over. Incomings for us, basically. Still, players can still leave to the Saudi League. I think England, as of now, as we're still speaking, the Turkish League, I think the Russian League, if that's possible, even. But for us, incomings, it's done. It's closed, and we will go over what our transfer window has been. Have we failed? Has it been a good window, or whatever? Considering the difficulties the club and especially Juntili needed to operate into. So we'll go over that. Before we do that, like the video, subscribe to the channel. It's game weekend also, and then international break, which is kind of crappy, if I'm being honest. But we will have some things planned on the channel, some fun stuff. So yeah, let's get straight into the final transfer video of the summer. Okay, so it's done. It's over. The transfer window has closed, and we need to go over it. Because I think it's being praised, and I get some of the praise, and I will go over everything we done business wise. I'll get some of the praise that has been given, but overall, even considering the difficulties we had, like financial difficulties, time and player and all those things, overall, it hasn't been a very good transfer window. And we need to be honest in there because things that didn't happen, but we were pushing to happen, kind of tell you what kind of transfer window we were trying to go with. And that wasn't the window we needed or the players to build on. Like, it wasn't needed. So let's get over really quickly the incomings. And I have a list here, and I'm gonna include, because it's from importance that we include these players, because we signed Locatelli for 30 million euros. Basically, that's done. Keane, 30 million euros, which is crazy, but that's reality, and that I cannot blame on Juntili or whatever, because that's done. It was set in stone. So we already paid like 60 million euros basically for two players. One of those players playing out of position, the other one could have potentially moved. That is kind of crazy considering we paid 60 million euros this summer for both. But like, again, that's not really part of the summer usually, but considering the money we have and all those things, it is. Now let's move on to our only signing of the summer. That's Timothy Weah. Let's say we paid 11 million euros. Let's say we paid 11 million euros. I'm fine with that. I think that's okay business. That's good business because he has a lot of upset to it. If it doesn't work out, you'll probably recoup your money. I don't think that will be a problem, just because of his the clubs he has played for. Premier League teams will come in should it not work out, and I'm not saying it will not work out, but 11 million euros, I think that's cool. He gives you another option. You needed to get a player in that position, so that's fair, I guess. It's okay. I'll take him. I'm fine with Timothée Weah. The price is fair, so I'll give them credit for that. But then it goes weird. We signed Milik. We signed them. We paid money, but the type of deal we did, or like the way we went by that deal, it was kind of embarrassing. Let's be honest, because we said no, we're not doing the option, and we told Marseille we're not in for him. At the end of the day, we just paid what Marseille wanted. So I'm not sure what that was all about, because Marseille did what we didn't do. You had an agreement and you're paying for that agreement, period. No discounts. You want Milik, that's what you pay. If you don't want Milik, fine. We will find another club and they will pay for Milik. That's what you should be doing as a club. And Marseille did that. And at the end of the day, you kind of lost because you were haggling for a few millions and you ended up paying just the same thing. So Milik is back. Discussing if that's a good thing, considering the formation we play, I'm not so sure it was really that much needed, but he's back, and that's kind of a signing. We signed Facundo Gonzalez, let's say for 3 million, just to keep it, safe and what. So he went on loan to Sampdoria. 2 games there, 2 benches for him. So one for the future, I guess, if it actually works out. But for the first team, it's irrelevant. That's a signing that could be relevant in the long term. But as of now, we cannot really comment on it. We can praise it. I think it's a good type of business. but it doesn't improve us now. And that was kind of the main issue, if we're being completely honest. So that's a signing. Let's go over the players that came back as well. McKennie. I'm sitting here, deadline day, and I cannot believe McKennie's at the club. I actually cannot believe he's at the club. And that alone kind of puts a very big fat L on this transfer window, because we made it abundantly clear last January, excuse me, damn it, that you're not good enough to play for this club. We don't have a position to fit you in. And here he is playing all season in a position he cannot play, because he is Timothy Weah's replacement as a right wing back. And that's absolutely failing as a club. Like, there's money or no money. You need to be real. You don't need to brush everything under the carpet, because some have an excuse for everything. You know, there is an excuse for everything. Sometimes you can just say that's really poor and kind of shambolic what the situation is, because McKennie is not a right wing back. His feet are terrible. Like, let's be completely honest over here. He's good running without the ball. That's what he's good at, period. But we told him in January, you're not good enough. We saw him at Leeds, not good enough. And now he's back. You know, you should have made it very clear in the summer, you're training alone, you need to leave. Find a club. You know, he said no to Galatasaray apparently, because he didn't want to leave. At that point, that you needed to make clear in the summer, in June basically, you better find a solution. You better say yes to one of those teams, because you're not part of our plans, you know. And you actually sign a right wing back or whatever, right winger, depending on the formation you want to play, because now your squad once again is not ready, because you have holes in that squad. You cannot say, oh, but we have McKennie. McKennie's not a right wing back, you know, and it's absolutely crazy that he's still at the club. It's actually unbelievable and sad. Same goes for players like Deschilio and Rugani, players you sold already or like moved on, and now they're back at the club having a future. That's poor business as a club. So McKennie is here. I cannot believe it, but he's here. You know, other players that came back, we kind of sold. The only one I want to go over with, and we retained Rabiot, by the way. You know what I think about Rabiot. I think the business is a free agent again next summer. I think that's kind of a waste of money, because the story was, and by good Romano, Di Marzio, Romeo was, if you didn't have Rabiot, we would have signed earlier. We would have gone for Savic, or we got a Fratesi. Isn't that the better idea? Because you would have had those players for the coming 3-4 years, 100% certain. Probably on lower wages, not probably 100% sure on lower wages. Now you have Rabiot, who's again a free agent next summer, and that money you spend on him now is gone. You know, signing bonus, whatever, it's gone. It's gone. So even if you think Fratesi is not good enough or whatever, if that's what you think, long term, that's not a great move. Let's be completely honest here, you know. But Rabiot is potentially a new signing, you know, on the books. Now, players that came back, but we kind of moved on, is Zakaria, Kulusevski, all those guys. But one that stayed is Hans Nicolosi. Again, I don't understand it. I absolutely do not get why Nicolosi is at the club. And I'm not saying, oh, that's a bad thing that he's at the club, but just for his own sake, I don't understand it, because he's not going to play. He should not play, because that midfield has enough players. It has Miretti, it has Fagioli, it has Locatelli. Pogba's potentially fitter now. Rabiot, he needs to play Nicolosi, and I kind of feel bad for him. I'm not sure what the idea behind that is. You know, I'm not sure, and I'm kind of 100% sure that in January he's gone on loan, whatever. But I don't get that move. Now, players that came back and we sold, or just sold, now it gets spicy. Because here is where I'm going to praise things and I'm going to criticize things. And that's why I made my conclusion that despite the difficulties financially, we kind of failed this transfer window because of the type of sales we have done. First one, Kulusevski, and that's not really on Juntli, because he wasn't at the club. And you might say, the first thing you might say now is a response is, oh, it's only a couple of million. The situation the club is in, we need every single euro, period. We handed Tottenham a discount, whilst Tottenham now are spending millions and millions for players you probably never heard about or never seen play before. We gave them a discount. And that's where I get pissed because it's about principles. You had an agreement with Tottenham, you pay that money. Tottenham are not prepared to pay that money, fine. That Premier League, as a whole is insane. They spend money like crazy. Fulham spent 30 million euros for Iwobi. Let that sink in. Let that sink in. They spent 65 million euros for Onana, 70 for Mason Mount. Like, name it. The list goes on and on and on and on. You know, you handed one of the richest clubs in the world, basically, and that is Tottenham because they have a shitload of money, a discount. And it's about principles here. You had an agreement for Kulusevski. You tell Tottenham you pay that. You don't want to pay that. Some other Premier League club will come in and offer more money. That will happen. It will happen. Look at the state of the Premier League. It's about principles here. And we took our foot back and we said, yeah, take it. We take the money. And that's poor. That's poor. Overall, this club throughout the years, we stink at selling. And that's the reality. There's no sugarcoating. I've seen people, oh, it's good. We needed the money. That's why we cannot demand what we want. That's absolute biggest bullshit I've ever heard. Inter need the money. Milan need the money. And they got what they wanted. For Tonali, for Onana, they get what they want. They get what they want. Because they will say, it's this or nothing. Lukaku, when they sold Lukaku, it's only when it comes to Juve, fans make excuses. And they will find every single excuse when we just need to be honest here. Be honest and be like, okay, principle-wise, we're soft. As a club, we're soft. But that happened. Zakaria, 20 million, great business. That's as simple as that. I think we all were on the channel. We said, like, that's 20 million. And if he goes for Premier League, even more. He went to Monaco, 20 million. That's brilliant business. Actually, great business. That's good money. You got that back, fine. And I praise the club, and we should praise the club for that because that's very, very good business. You sold Dragozin 5.5, but that was an agreement. Genoa didn't come in and say, yeah, but we want less. 5.5, we got that. Arthur Melo, it is what it is. That contract is bad, man. It's really bad, and I think they got the maximum out of it. He's gone. You pay part of his wage, and there's an option if he does well. Apparently, he's doing well at Fiorentina. They're not gonna pay what we agreed on. I don't know what it is, 25 or something. They will probably come back in the summer and try to lower that, whatever. And we cannot be angry because we do that. Other clubs do that as well. So I'm okay with that. Like, I'm absolutely fine with that. And now comes a weird thing. You got rid of Di Maria. We discussed that. Quadrado, time was up. Bonucci, time was up. Piaka, finally gone. We're paying part of his wage the final year, apparently. Same for Bonucci, but things needed to happen. I'm okay with that. That's gone. But the Rovella and the Pellegrini thing, again, they are free transfers until 2 years' time before we'll get money. And even then, Rovella, that money we were getting for Rovella is just sad. Like, it's sad. It's like, what is it? 50, 70 mil? It's absolutely sad. Let's keep it 100 here. That's poor business, and Lazio absolutely owned us there. They owned us. And I don't know if it's going to work out for Rovella or Pellegrini. Probably not Pellegrini for sure. But overall, that's not good business. You need money. They're on free loans for 2 years, basically. And the money you're getting in is, well, shockingly low. It's absolutely kind of embarrassing, if I'm being completely honest. So I cannot find a positive. Also because we needed a DM and you kind of gifted away a DM. So I cannot spin that. I have no idea how to spin that into something very positive. I have absolutely zero idea how to do that. So if you can, let me know in the chat because I have no idea how to spin that. Like, I'm not gonna lie. But they're gone. They're absolutely gone. So we need to live with it. The winter loan with option. Yeah, I guess, I thought we could have got more there, but like 10 million euros apparently, close to 10 million euros. That center back situation, it is what it is. I want real center backs, and we have Bremer, Gatti, and Rogani, who shouldn't be at the club. And then you have two fullbacks who are not good enough to play fullbacks playing starting center back for us. So that situation is what it is. But the winter, the club made it kind of clear they are not really high on them. So he's gone. Sule on loan. I get it, but I get it from his point of view. From our point of view, I don't get it because now you have McKennie playing in a position he can't play. So very confusing there. But he's gone. Kayo, he needed to go out on loan. Finally back from his injury. Hope he does well. So good that he went on loan. And Barnechea, same. Good for him. He's not a player of quality for a Juve first team. He will probably be moved on next season or the season after that for like 8-7 million, and I'll be fine with that. But overall, like I know the difficulties of the club, and I said it, like I need to see the bigger picture before I can say, man, Giuntoli are doing an absolutely crap job. And the big picture could be not even just next summer, but the following summer, and that includes decisions made on coaching and whatever. But this summer transfer window, I expected poor, but it's actually been worse than I thought, especially the selling part and the fact that you only have Timothy Weah out there. De Chilio I don't count, but even if he comes back from injury, he will be injured again. McKennie covering that position is just sad. It's sad. You can flip Cambiaso, but that's also not ideal. So overall, it's not a good transfer window in my opinion, and especially the selling part bothers me more than just bringing in Timothy Weah. That's I feel the club doesn't really show a backbone when it comes to selling, and that goes back for years, if I'm being completely honest. Like De Ligt and all these guys, I think we as fans as well, you can feel it that when we are trying to sell a player, you're like, oh my god, here we go again, and you're scared. And to top it off, I see the debate and saying, oh, but we kept Chiesa and Vlahovic. We kept them because there were no offers, and the offers that came in, these players didn't want to go to Aston Villa or Chelsea. We were pushing Vlahovic out of the door for Romelu Lukaku. It didn't work out because it didn't work out, but the club was actually doing that. You need to keep that at an account. You cannot just say, oh, it didn't happen, so fine. That was actually the plan of the club, to bring in a player like Lukaku, to potentially sell Chiesa. And I get it financially, but the replacements, Lukaku, we're trying to sign Berardi. Keep that in mind. All these things were happening. It didn't happen because of reasons we'll probably not know for certain, but that was the idea of the club. We cannot brush that aside now and be like, oh, but it didn't happen, so that's fine. It's like the Dybala thing. He was joining Inter. It was very well known. His agent, Marotta, everybody spoke about it. It didn't happen at the end of the day, but that was still the idea. It's the same thing. So you need to keep that in account. That's what the club was trying to do. Sign Romelu Lukaku, sign Berardi, move on Chiesa, move on Vlahovic. That wasn't the idea of the club. So you need to keep all these things in account. And for me, it's been a poor transfer window, even worse than I initially thought, because there are holes in this team, and I thought we could have recouped more money than we did. But it's over now. There's no way back. We need to do with what we have in this season. I think the main goal is clear. It's get that top 4 because we need that Champions League money. We need it big time, or next season, next summer could be even potentially twice as worse than this one. But let me know in the comments. There have been happening some good things, but also some very questionable things. Trying to move on Junior is one of them as well. We need to live with it, and we need to see how it will all unfold this season, excuse me, and before we can actually make a judgment. But I will make a real judgment on Giuntoli, I think, after 2 real transfer windows. Then I can say, okay, I see what you're trying to do. But let me know in the comments what you make about it. Let me know if you have any remarks. Keep it clean, keep it nice. And I will respond to every single comment. I usually try to do that, but I will try this one for certain. So like the video, subscribe, and I will see you guys live for the preview. Ciao.